Get my volume on. There we go. Good evening. Watching, but gonna be quiet tonight. No, there's never have to be quiet. Hippocrates. So I am by myself for right now. Lisa's actually doing feeding out cows. I've got a friend behind me here. That is David's dog, and here comes David to get his dog. But she's feeding cows, and so I thought I'd take this time real quick. First of all, I wanted to apologize for Micro Monday video has not come out yet. We got through part of that video, and the as we were doing the process, we didn't realize that the camera had stopped. So we are redoing that as we not as we speak. Obviously, we're here, but we're going to redo that probably in a day or two and have that out this week. And then we'll have one out every Monday morning, hopefully, is the plan. So we are going to empty our phones for our data because that just keeps getting um, being a problem at this point. So that's what we're going to do. But I thought I'd start off by kind of introducing again who we are for those. I know we have replays and things like that. And here comes Lisa. But we are Tabletop Farms. We are a family-run farm right now. We manage roughly about 1,000 acres. So she was checking on her babies. So manage about 1,000 acres. We do about an acre, maybe just a little over at this point, of produce. We do broilers. We do laying hens. We do cattle. We custom graze, and we also have our own grass finished herd that we're started. And then we have a few dairy cows, and we've got some pigs, and all that's on pasture. So we've we've ran our farm organically for the last 4 years, 5 years. We haven't recently made the switch to the chicken feed being organic feed. So that is the pigs are still non-GMO, but obviously the cattle are all grass fed, so they're that. So good evening, Starla. So it's kind of a little brief history. It's me, Lisa, our two children, and then we have people that pop in and out and help out, and we're always happy to have people around, and so that's kind of who we are. You have anything to
Cool.
add? I don't know.
I don't know.
So, did you have any more babies tonight? You had three more
It's
yesterday.
too dark.
Well, that's true.
I can't see.
You can't see in the dark.
No.
That's a
And
neat tool that we ought to get is a thermal imaging scope. Then you could actually look out there.
that would be pretty awesome.
I don't know.
That would be pretty cool. No, there was a cow that was kind of off from the herd, so I don't know if that's one that I don't know if she's in labor.
Generally speaking, that's one that's getting to have a calf.
Yeah, having a calf. She was hiding behind a bush. So after we
You can't see me. It's a little bush, but you can't see me.
But after we laid the hay out, the whole mob came out of the woods. So
Well,
it
obviously.
was like
Good evening,
But yeah.
prep for the eternity.
So. Yep. But yeah, babies are going good.
We haven't had
Shush.
had no issues this year so far. So, well, we did have one. We had one early one off one of the heifers. That calf did not make it.
That calf did not make it. It was cold and rainy
And a giant calf.
A giant calf.
But she didn't have any problem having the calf, thankfully, because she had it in the middle of the night. But it was cold that night, single digits, I believe.
Yeah, and it was raining.
So we did lose that one, but that was one of our heifers. So good evening, ACM. So
yeah, so as far as the cows go, I mean so last year when we got the cows and they were first time heifers, they were just completely stupid. They had no idea what they were doing. This year they actually so far, I don't have anybody that is like, "Oh my gosh, what is that thing?" and runs away.
Well, they're
They actually, they know what they're doing. Of course, they already had one, so
they're in a familiar environment now, and they're with
that too.
familiar people like you coming out there. They're used to us now at this
Yes,
point. So last
yeah,
year,
that too.
right after they calved, that's when they came onto our property, and it was just
It was a
crazy
madhouse.
town. Just
It was a
and
madhouse.
that's normal for cows to be kind of crazy when they first get around a new environment, just plopped out. But these were new moms and all that jazz, so that made it 10 times worse.
Yeah, it was a little
So,
bit of everything. So,
but anyways,
did you mention our excitement that we had
probably not.
Saturday?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, well.
What are you talking about?
Oh,
Oh, no, I didn't mention that.
oh, you haven't gotten there yet?
No, but you can mention that.
Okay.
So,
So, one of the things that on some of the properties that we lease and some that we own,
and we just manage it at this point too.
yeah, true. Where cows are, anyways. The other piece that we lease and manage, we manage the CRP portion. It's in a government program. The whole is it USDA, NRCS.
Well, it's USDA NRCS.
Okay, the
It's,
soil conservation habitat management
well, that's
program
yeah.
kind of thing.
One's local,
Yeah.
one's federal. This is
Anyway,
all under federal. It's USDA.
yeah. So, anyways, it's one of those programs that you have to maintain it a certain way, the way that they tell you that you have to maintain it. And so, one of those ways to maintain it is to burn off the field, which we hadn't been able to do for the past couple of years. We've had to use alternative methods that they give you. But this year, on one of the fields, we were actually able to get the winds right, the day right, and all that kind of stuff. And we got a
Well,
30-acre.
barely. I mean, everybody was kind of
Well,
nervous when I said, "Let's go burn." And I mean, most of the day it was 10, 12, 15 mile an hour winds, and I I had looked at the forecast, and
it was
I
gusty.
again I have some experience burning, we'll say, um, and it was gusty, but gusty winds that are sustained, I'm not so much worried about with good burn lines and stuff like that. I knew where we were starting, and I knew the weather was calling for the wind to die down, and it died drastically. Thankfully, we had most of the field going at that point because once you got the head fire, it took off. But up until then, it was having a hard time starting once we started getting to the back portion of it. But everything
Yeah.
worked out. I mean, almost picture perfect for considering that the kids were up on one burn line with their grandfather, and everybody's kind of novice, I'll say, on that side. And it was just like, just keep going until I tell you to stop. So I had Lisa on the phone with them, but
Yeah.
so
So,
and we don't have any videos out on that yet, do we?
no, we don't.
So
So we'll get some videos out on it. But basically, what you do is, do you want to explain the equipment that we use?
you can. I mean, that's part going to be part of the video too. But I mean, we're using common depending on what all is doing. I mean, there's backpack blower can be involved and rakes and all this other stuff. But I mean, what this situation we were actually in was we had a gravel road on one side, a driveway gravel drive
Mhm.
on the north side, which is where the wind was coming from, and then we had a creek on the back side and a highway on one side. So there was very little equipment needed for this. We didn't mow anything. We didn't need to do anything like that. And so we started at the creek and highway, which is the wind was in our face from there, let it back burn, and we just wrung the fire. Essentially, I had the kids go up the highway, and then I went down through the creek and established a good line, and then had them actually up on top of the hill burning the head fire into it. So they got the good view and all that to be able to see it, which is kind of why I sent them that way. And David thought he got sunburned from and he did. He was red, but he was standing a little too close as it was going. But he kind of learned his lesson pretty quick and backed off, I think, and stayed ahead of it at that point. But so Gypsy, good evening, and Gypsy does register Dexter's.
Okay.
Silver lining, good morning, good evening.
Wow.
Prep's been planting more potatoes. Yep. I saw where um, Wanda. I'm trying to think of what their Danny and Wanda, what their farm name is.
Deep South?
Deep South Homestead was doing um, planting today too, or they did a video.
Okay.
So they're zone 8 though, so 3 zones ahead of us.
They're nice and warm.
Now we've been planting like crazy and just trying to keep up. We are finally dry enough to get outside and plant, but we have rain coming in tomorrow night. So I'm
But not the 2 inches that they
no
originally called for.
no
I mean, so
yeah, it's mid 80s in Alabama. I saw where down in Ray he was in the 80s the other day too. So we have not hit 80 degrees yet this year. Yet we've was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. Today's was in the
yeah.
60s, and yesterday was almost 70 degrees. But we have not. We haven't even hit 70. I don't think yet this year.
No, we haven't.
So we're anticipated, but now we're going back into the 40s for the rest of the week. But thankfully, we're going to stay up in the upper or mid upper 20s to low 30s, which for this time of year up here, I'll take all day long. So we've been kind of spoiled with the 50, 60-degree weather for the last week and a half or so. So, but we've got lots of. I'm sure we'll get into that with what she's been planting and doing all kinds of good stuff. Oh, he just opened a window in here. It's just like, so that's what he was doing. Didn't know that. So,
Letting some of the
but yeah,
exhaust out.
the fire went good. We're
Fire went
hoping
really
to get more burnt. It actually rained that morning.
That morning, yeah.
And so I was pretty confident that we were pretty safe in what we were doing even with the wind. So we're hoping to get more burned Saturday, this coming Saturday. So we've got probably about another 3 acres that broke up in pretty small strips that we've got to get burned actually before the 15th. So we've only got like 7 more days, 8 more days to get that done. But some of the bigger fields, we've got 50, 60, 70 acre fields that we need to get burnt.
Mhm.
And we'll see how those, see if we can get those accomplished. I don't know that we're going to get all that done. I know we're not going to get all of them done, but we can get some done next year, hopefully. So,
Well, the ones that we need to, I think. That we
or
probably,
the ones we have to get done, we'll
Yeah.
get done. I think, providing the weather stays the way it's supposed to. So, good evening, big kid. Good to have all you guys in here.
yes, it is.
So,
Very nice.
excitement on that. What else you been doing this week?
A lot of planting. So Mondays are our greenhouse sow days, and
You've been working on your schedule.
I've been working on my schedule. I've been working on making sure I keep my schedule, and um, trial runs and all that kind of stuff before things get really crazy. So I think I'm doing okay. I'm able to.
Everything's still alive.
Everything is still alive.
Everything's getting put in the ground.
Everything's getting put in the ground and into the pots and whatnot that they're supposed to.
We've got a ton of up potting to
So
do tonight.
yes, we do.
So
Yeah.
that's one thing. We've got more tomatoes get up potted. Of course, we had all those tomatoes freeze. Well, the whole greenhouse freeze actually.
Yeah.
Um,
But the tomatoes really got
the tomatoes are what took the
really-
brunt of the damage. But with saying that, a lot of those have popped out of it. We're going to do some experimentation. What we're actually going to do with those, we're going to mark those, and we're going to put some of those that are ready to go in the ground. And everything that was there when it's frosted, I'm gonna mark it, probably just with a tag or something, and we're gonna see how those actually produce versus the ones we're reseeding now. Did you reseed some more today?
no.
Okay, well we haven't got that done. You have reseeded some because we had stock of them already, but the ones we didn't have in stock.
Well, I looked at the seed that came in, and I'm pretty sure
Okay.
that whenever I reseeded them, like we have everything that we needed. I think what you
Possibly.
had ordered was stuff that was determinants that was needed for more succession.
Somewhat, probably so.
So, yeah, we need to look at that and make sure that we have what we need.
Yeah.
But
Good evening, Eagle Leather. It's probably in the 80s down there in Texas too. So,
One
but
day it'll be here soon.
well,
It,
we know it's a first sure sign of spring,
yep, I was just
and
gonna say that.
that's. I've been looking for robins, and David's like, "Oh, well, I've been seeing robins." I said, "I haven't seen any robins, and I'm out every day and driving around the county." And lo and behold, there are robins everywhere today. So I was like, "Well, okay." So he knew what he was talking about. Well, it just so happened that that's one of the spring peepers have been going pretty hot and heavy in the last 2 days since
Yeah.
Saturday. Robins were here, which is a sure sign of spring is right around the corner. But the one thing I always look for is the turkey vultures. Once the turkey vultures come back, then I know that spring is here. That it doesn't mean we won't get a snow here and there, because we probably will.
But the
But
majority of the cold
the
weather is
majority of the
gone.
cold weather, we probably aren't going to see very much of us in below the 20s at this point. It's we're pretty safe to start putting a lot of our stuff outside at this point, as far as our cold weather stuff.
Yeah, I seen a group
So
of turkey vultures on the way in to drop orders too.
awesome. So
I
they're
don't know
back
if
and
they were just
they're good.
yeah.
So silver lining, we are. It's not so much how far are we above the Arkansas line. We are only about 60 miles, 70 miles from the Iowa border
Yep.
in North Missouri. So we're all the way up here. We don't get Iowa weather, but we don't get Southern Missouri weather. We're kind of stuck in the middle, and it seems like the eastern part of the state of Missouri stays a lot warmer than what we do.
Yeah.
We're more of the Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa weather up in here. So
And even though we're that close to the Iowa border, we don't travel to Iowa very
I've
much at
only been to
all.
Iowa like twice.
Yeah.
So
Which is funny because we always go south
well, that's
to
where
go to places instead of,
yeah. You're
you
from
know,
the east, and I'm from the south, so that's probably why we tend to do that.
well, that's probably true. We know those places and what's there. And we need to venture up to Des Moines a time or two and see
I don't know.
what we can. You
I don't know.
don't know.
I don't mind the fresh air, but that is windy. Holy moly!
It is like 48 degrees out right now, or at least it was about an hour ago, and I had to bundle up. It was that wind. There must be a good wind chill out
Oh,
there.
I don't know. It
It's
has been
cold.
consistently, and we get winds here a lot.
Yes, a lot.
I feel like we're in Kansas half the time with the winds that we get, but it's just for the next week. It's like 20-mile-an-hour winds every day. I mean, that's just what it's going to be. So
It helps dry the gardens out whenever
it does that too.
it rains
Yeah.
every other day, or at least it seems like it.
Like a
But
freeze dryer.
yes,
So
yes. Oh man,
it's not that time yet.
no, it's
Not that time.
It's not, which is
So
crazy because I got in and I'm still going. So,
Big
but
Kid
no,
said, "Watch out for ticks." I got 4 more so far today. And so even with our weather up here being as cool as what we're talking about, dogs are getting ticks already.
yes, our dogs are getting ticks. I pulled one off yesterday. Um, what are they? The dog ticks, the ones that get really fat
Yeah.
and big. That's what she had had. And actually, it was like a month ago. I pulled one off of one of the other dogs. So I don't know
Yeah.
if we. Well, I don't know if it's a myth or if it's actually truth. That the cold weather kills them off. But
Well, it's cold
we.
weather does, but
I don't know that we've really
they
got.
burrow down in leaf and all that stuff. But yeah.
Well, that's true.
So.
That's true. And the dogs have been all over the stinking place. They like mouse hunting and chasing birds from bush to bush. So
Yep. Tearing up garden.
yeah, they are. So that's gonna have to be something that we figure out how to do. Maybe a hotline because they don't like those. But
Well, they know what they are. So
yes, they do. That is probably one of the funniest things. Even though you're like, oh, that sucks. They hit one of the hotlines and they just hightail it back to the house howling.
Big Kid says he's had over 40 on him this year already, and
Ew.
it's only March. Yeah, I'd be doing some
Like,
fire burning.
no kidding. No kidding.
Fire will kill ticks, and there are people that burn in, I know, in the summer just for that purpose. So, and it reduces tick loads.
Like, are
But
you in a wooded area so that?
they're now he's in Alabama. I believe that's where they're at.
Well, yeah, but I mean, is your
No, maybe not.
property
Anyways,
got quite a bit of woods, or is it mostly open and in your grass and whatnot? Because
yeah,
either that, or you need some guineas.
guineas. Supposedly guineas are really good
Oh, you've been in
in
the
the
woods
woods a
a
lot.
lot.
Yeah,
Hunting season?
cedar stuff like that. So
Yeah,
hit those.
put those.
That's right,
That's
guineas,
right. That's something that we never.
Virginia. Yeah.
Okay, that's not something that we've ever had to get our guineas. I mean, we had chickens.
Well, we've talked about guineas before. I I don't know that I can deal with the cackling all the time, the
That's what I
talking.
was thinking.
So
That's what I was thinking.
yeah.
They're pretty noisy. But we did. I do see a difference when. So quite, what 3 years now? The chickens have been in the pasture for what 3 years,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
And
Before that, they were free range. Is what you're getting ready to say. Yeah.
yes, before that they were free range around the house, and I have seen a not a significant difference, but a difference as to when they were in the yard and eating through all the bugs and all that kind of stuff. And now that they're out on pasture, I do see more ticks and stuff around the house.
Well, and chickens free range around the house was fine when we had like 12, but when you get 100 chickens free ranging around the house, I mean, things were everywhere. If you didn't shut doors, I mean, they were up on
Oh, your shop was a
my
mess.
shop
It
and
was a
just knocking
mess.
tools off. And I mean, you'd go in there and all the chickens were, have no idea what they were doing in there, but they were just scratching and pecking. So,
No, that's like entertainment times 10.
yeah, shiny things, I guess. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, big kid. If you have the availability for guineas, that boy, I'd get guineas for sure
Yeah,
if
they
we had
are
ticks.
dumb. I understand they are very dumb.
Well, I think they roam a lot too.
Oh,
Yeah, they're not a chicken. I mean, by any stretch of the imagination, they're not a chicken. So, of course, David's got his chickens now to where they'll come if they're hungry enough and they haven't been fed with their normal time. They come running down the road here, and as soon as they hear the four wheeler, they're running back towards the house. So,
like let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 500, 600 feet away is what they are right now from the barn. And yesterday, about the time feeding time, so about 4 o'clock, between 4 and 4:30 is when they usually get fed. Whenever we chore up,
here comes a
and
dozen chickens just
just
trotting down, like, "Hey, we're coming to see where our food's at." And he gets on the four wheeler, starts taking off, and there goes those chickens just waddling right back behind the four wheeler, like, "We're
six
coming."
hundred feet down. It
So,
was funny.
but I was clearing overgrowth behind the building where I'm building a lean-to. Yep, there's
That'd be
ticks are everywhere.
and chiggers. I don't know if you've got chiggers there, but
I don't know. Chiggers don't bother me too much.
well, yeah, they
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 can,
can.
but not too bad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
We free range ours, but it can be messy. We have 15. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's not too bad, but like I said, when I think we got up to like 100, 150 at free ranging around the house, and it was just like, this is not going to work very well. So we put them out on pasture pretty quick after that. So
Yes, we did. We had two coops going, and they were it was about 150 because they were at max capacity of like 75 each.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
he's
crazy.
prepped has gotten 5 chicks incubated so far.
Aw,
So
are
that's
they
good.
off of? Are they eggs off of your own flock?
What variety of chicken are you incubating as well?
Yeah.
That's something we're still pondering and doing. I think we're going
Mm.
to look into more of it. If not, I'm going to start looking at asking. I know Tag and B have been incubating some,
Yeah.
um, and I don't know anybody else around us right now that do. But if somebody wants to is doing it and they're over in the Kansas City area, Missouri area, then I'd definitely be looking for chicks and stuff like that. So I'd be more than
We
happy to
do actually have um a home
hatchery.
hatchery not too far from here. They actually had a barn burn not too long ago. Like what?
Big kid says, "Hush on them little red demons. Don't jinx it." So Prep is doing Leghorn Wyandottes. That's an interesting combination, or that maybe you're just doing both. So that'd be an interesting combination.
That would be
So body used um,
body use.
incubator. So yeah, it's something we're interested in just for the sustainability of it, if nothing else. But it's not something I necessarily have time to do very much of, and so that's why we just kind of look for other resources for other individuals that want to do that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
the roosters.
Okay.
Have
Yeah.
you have you hatched them before? I mean, I'm curious as to what they like turn out to be. Because leghorns are pretty like flighty and cannibalistic, aren't they?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
That's what
And the
you're
Wyandottes are the purple ones, the purple like
no.
silver birds.
Yeah, that's silver lace wine. That's what you're thinking of.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. 75, 74 right now in the incubator. They are American breeds. Yeah.
I don't know what they look like.
Now
Off my
that's not prep. That's Gypsy doing that one. And I
yeah.
remember her talking about those are the combination meat birds, I believe,
Oh, that's right.
layered meat birds,
That's
or maybe
right.
they're just American, or maybe there's meat birds. You have to. Yeah, that is a lot of 74 is.
That's kind of how we would have to do it because, like,
What's that? The broody chickens. Big kid.
no,
We used to. We've got the barn cats have kind of lowered their
thinned out a
numbers,
little bit.
and so that may be possible. That's how we used to do a lot of ours, but again, it's just one of those. If you're counting on it for us, that's not really a business model for us. But as a homesteading part of it, that's what we used to do when we
Yeah,
first got into it, and that's I enjoy seeing the baby chicks walk around with the mom and do all that good stuff. So
yeah.
yeah, so
Usually,
they're
though.
gypsies because they're a combination. They are a egg layer that does a meat bird that does lay
Yeah.
eggs. So
Okay.
very versatile bird.
Cool. Putting them
But
in the. You mean like butchering them, or I assume you. That's what he means. I mean, the eggs. You just keep the eggs in a cooler. I think before you're like to collect them all whenever they're fertile. You
yeah,
collect them all. You put them in a cooler
yeah.
and then
Yeah, I
bring
mean,
them to room temperature,
chickens
and then.
don't sit on them until they get a clutch on them, anyway. Generally speaking,
Well, that's
that's
true.
what they try to do. So you may
That's
have
true.
12 days, 14 days before a chicken actually starts laying on them and stuff like that. So,
Okay.
but yeah, and I remember Prep had said that they were doing that so that kids can learn and that kind of stuff. So, and then they can manage those, kind of do that. So that's a great thing. So,
Yeah.
and Gypsy says the American Breeze, I believe I'm pronouncing that right, but it may not be. Start laying in 4 months. So, which is 16 weeks, which is what they say some of these other breeds do.
They don't.
They don't.
They
I
don't.
know like the cinnamon queens are said to start in 4 months. You're lucky if it's six in a lot of
Yes.
instances. So
It's like watching a
pot boil
pot boil. It's like, come
any
on.
day, any day, any day. So, but yeah,
Yeah. So, silver lining, how big do they dress out at if you're butchering them? So, like the Cornish cross, we've gotten 7, almost 8 pounds out of a bird. Of course, it was a cockerel, but and I think it was like 9 weeks. I mean, it
so
was one of our
are you
older.
talking about the American Breeze?
Yeah.
That's Gypsy that's doing those.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
Silver Lining was
confused.
asking Gypsy
Oh, okay. Ah,
if
yes.
she's butchering
Okay.
those.
See, I'm sorry. It's Monday. I forgot it was even Monday earlier today.
Breasts, American breasts.
Gotcha. It's okay. I will catch up. It just happened.
So what else you been getting? We got beets in tonight. We got I don't know. We got all kinds. We got green onions, beets. What else we get planted today and yesterday?
Well, in the past
Chard,
week, yeah, I did get some chard put in today, and
pak
we
choy.
did pak choy last week at the end of the week. Um, she said they dress out between 7 and 8 pounds. That's pretty stinking good.
Yeah,
I'll have to look into those.
yeah, because that's something there again. That's something we can incubate, keep eggs, and incubate, and
Yeah,
just keep the rooster and stuff. So
yeah, because butchering out hens is not worth it. Stewing hens
no, not well, not
are
a
not a
not a normal as far as no, they're not the same.
no.
So
But the time that you put into butchering or stewing hen is not worth what you get out of
it
it.
depends on what kind of breed you're doing. I mean,
That's
that's the whole
true.
thing.
That's
You've
so.
tried to do production reds before, and you talk about a skinny bird. They look like the old rubber chickens.
What was the black one that we had butchered for a neighbor?
Um,
That was a black broiler.
it was a black broiler. I would I thought it was a bad idea in the beginning, but they get black pin feathers too,
Yeah,
and
it was
it looked
bad.
nasty, looked horrible. So they're supposed to be a bigger chicken. They're great for free ranging.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
my bird lay eggs every day, but they are small, not meat bird. ISO browns. Yep, silver lining. That's essentially ISO browns, cinnamon queens. Those are all kind of that production bird. I
Yeah.
think they're all kind of mixed with leghorn and something else. But
You know what though? If you had those as your home birds, it really doesn't matter how big your eggs are because you're just gonna put three of them together to get one,
no, it just matter.
and
Yeah, I mean, if you're
and
homesteading and
yeah,
stuff like that, yeah. I mean, that's yeah. You, I mean, you don't have to have an. If you have a flock of those and you can do them, then you can make them as big and
maybe
however many
next
eggs you
year,
need. So
maybe next year that'd be good to something to think about if we're not doing eggs anymore.
I'd rather find somebody to buy them from and just keep a rooster every now and then or something.
Yeah.
You
Anyways,
need more things to do during the day,
no, I don't.
like incubate eggs, I guess.
No. Well, we could get the incubator that turns them by themselves.
Good.
You know,
Still,
then
yeah.
well, we used to incubate duck eggs when we were little.
It'd be great for some younger individuals to do that and pick that up as a business.
Just not
Just
us.
not us.
No,
Not
no,
yet.
no. Oh.
So
Uh,
the birds aren't big. The eggs are what the grocery store calls large. Yeah, it's about the same thing. What we have, we
yeah.
raise about the same thing. So Gypsy says hers never stopped laying this winter. So
Not Tractor Supply feed. No, that means they're healthy birds. That's
well, and
good.
that's the same. That's that combination bird.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
they're very interesting. So they're a pretty consistent producer at least. So it's good to
Yes,
know.
that is good to know. Okay.
But, but we were talking about the planting, and you're going into what else you had planted this week.
Yeah, we planted pak choi and I don't know what happened. I've I had two flats that look the same. They are pak choi, and then I've got one that does not look the same. And I don't know that we ever figured out what the
We
other one was.
yeah.
One is a very I want to call it woody, but it's not.
One's white and one's red at this point. Is the only
Yes.
distinguishing factors. But we tag everything, and you try to tag everything, but we don't tag it species wise. What you did, except for things like tomatoes
Pak choi?
and cucumbers. We do species on the tags on those so
Yeah.
that we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
but not pak choi, not lettuces, because we can look at the lettuces and unless it's a head lettuce or a cut lettuce, we can tell, but it we don't know. It's interesting, so we just planted them.
We'll see what comes out,
It's
what
one of those
they
things.
come up to be.
And
But
sometimes it happens. What's interesting about those particular ones is those may have been out of the same packet, and that packet may have just been labeled wrong. That's possible,
that's possible.
but they would have to come out of the same packet
Yes.
because
And it's kind of crazy that I got 2 trays of one.
exactly 2 trays.
Yeah. And the other one, so they had to been 2 separate plantings.
Yeah,
They had to been.
that's what I'm
But
guessing. So, but we
yeah,
started dating our tags now too, so that kind of helps because we're planting so many things every week. But I think what we're going to try to do, and maybe we'll do it next week, is try to do our live in the greenhouse. We
I
talked about
thought
doing that.
about that. Yeah.
I think we can do the live pretty easily off of our phone. Well, we've done it off. I've done it off the phone before, so
Yeah, we have.
and
And we can just put it on a stand and put the, so the cameras.
yeah. So
I thought about that for the whole microgreen thing, that we could just show that on their live. And
yeah, I talked about that too. So I promised everybody a microgreen video, and it was getting shot, and it was shot, and
I was so
data ran
sad.
out. How are we gonna look at it? Storage ran out, and we didn't really notice that happen. So the video will come later this week that we
I've
were
got 3
shooting.
parts, 3, 2.5 parts.
2.5 parts. So we've got to finish it up. Um, but we will get that shot. Probably won't do what I was going to plan. So we'll probably go back to doing something, whatever we're doing on Wednesday, and we'll get it out Thursday or Friday. Probably Thursday is my hope. And then Monday we'll get on our regular schedule of the videos because I can shoot everything Wednesday and then Sunday again on those. So I did get my cantaloupe microgreens in today.
So how long do those take to
No idea. I've got to look everything up.
Okay.
Supposedly they taste like cantaloupe, so, which I
Well,
don't like, but
should they have been planted today so that they're ready for what's their is it a 7 to 10 days? Is it a 7 days?
I don't know. We're gonna probably plant them on Sunday because that'll give us the longest time. What we are figuring out though is some of the other things.
Oh, I should have done kale today too, right?
What's today? Monday. Oh yeah, today is Monday. Yeah, so we probably need to do kale tonight, and we probably need to go ahead and do. So we may get a video out tonight and get you in one.
Not it won't get out.
No,
We'll
it
get
won't get out
recorded
tonight. Yeah, it will get one recorded hopefully tonight, and we'll get that out in another day or two. And so we'll have one out earlier. I forgot that we needed to do. There's we're transitioning. The kale is not as quick as what we think it should be right now. Now that may change, and that's the thing with microgreens is timing. It is very dependent on your environment. So if you're inside the house where it's a constant temperature or very very constant temperature, you can kind of get that schedule set. But it's kind of like seeding rates. Depending on environmental, is you may do a little less, you may do a little more, but you have to kind of fine tune that as you go. So right now, it's cool enough in the greenhouse that some of the things aren't quite. They need an extra 2 days, is what they need, and so it's that small of a window that we're going to need to add and go ahead and plant them on Mondays. And then we've also figured out another trick with sunflowers, and we're dialing some sunflowers are some of these, and we'll go through that when we do the videos. But sunflowers are very touchy. They're really popular. People like them. People that, that's a really popular on the health spectrum, but they are a finicky thing when it comes to microgreens. Um, so, but they're another one you need to soak. So that it's just going back, figuring out your environment, playing around with it a little bit. There's some tried and true ones like peas, and you can't hardly mess peas up. So the only thing you can do with peas about it is get them too thick and have ventilation issues. But
Yeah.
that's pretty easy to fix. So we spent about, and I heard Tag and B talking about that, but where they were in the stall and giving her the calf, giving or the cow was giving birth.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
That really is cool. That just must have had a camera on the cow. That's the only thing that I can think that unless you were hanging out, she was hanging out in the barn,
Well,
on the Zoom
somebody
call
somebody
or
may have went and
something.
checked.
But
So yeah,
well, that's true too. But
I mean,
I mean, it happens pretty stinking quickly. So,
it can, or it can take a long
or it
time
can
too.
take a long time. But yeah,
Well, it's good that
that's
everything
cool.
worked out well, and it was that neat experience. So because there's a lot of people that you know there may have been people in that Zoom definitely that may have not seen that. So that's very neat that everybody can experience that. We live in our barn. They may. So that's what we did for a little while. We lived in our barn essentially in this place. So yeah,
Ah, okay. So, like, you have a Schouse barndominium
barn,
barn
barn, a barn. I don't
barn.
know. I don't know how you pronounce that one, but yeah, we do.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, okay. Which is basically like we were going to do that. Well, not with the animals, but we took Andrew's shop and invaded and made it into the house.
Which is
So
where we're sitting right now.
yeah.
Where we're sitting right now, my great grandfather restored many a John Deere tractors.
Hmm.
So yeah, Gypsy's off grid.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. There was many a John Deere's. There's Caterpillar crawlers in here. Yeah, so we just took the dirt floor shopping.
Yeah.
Said we're gonna make this a house.
Well, there were many things that went into that, but
Silver Lining says, when you say you live in your barn, do you mean there's a door between you and the cows?
just one door. You got
You got it. Yeah.
it. Well, I hope your door is not your stall door. Like you actually have a room. But no, we my parents have a horse barn and one of their they have like, a tack room and all that kind of stuff. And anytime the horses move around in there, you can always hear everything that is going on. So, but what we found is I don't know if you have a chance to do some spray foam. No, there is. Yeah, that's what I was. Um, spray foam I think has helped dramatically on some things. I mean, I don't think it's completely soundproof, but
Oh no, it's not soundproof. Closed cell is a lot better than open cell by a long way for sound.
yeah.
I mean, it's we. The nice thing is we did spray foam the ceiling, but we can still hear the rain hitting the tin roof. So that's kind of nice, actually.
It is.
So
It is. And if
until
you
it just downpours and has a deluge, kind of noisy still. But
well, and the other thing, if you are in a barn with the animals, it is kind of nice to hear them move around a little bit. I mean,
well, you get used to
you
that.
you
Yeah,
do get used to it, but you kind of have an ear open as to, if something is going, versus
yeah.
having to check on them all the time. So,
Well, we generally will bring the barn into the house. So when we get early calving and stuff like that, we've always got calves. We haven't had that this year, and it doesn't look like we're going to have to. But
well, I'm
this will be
only
the first.
6 out of 120.
Well,
So,
I realize that, but the weather doesn't look like we're going to
that's true.
have cold. Where
That's true.
we're having the heat blankets and the blow dryers and the wood stove and the calf, and I mean
Yeah.
I've done a lot of stuff, baths. So
Water baths, laying on
yeah,
top of the furnace, all sorts of things for bottle calves. Well, they end up being bottle calves because once you take them from their mom is not exactly the happiest to take them back
generally speaking, yeah,
most of the time, and which is usually why you have a calf that is not in a good shape, anyways, because mom's not taking care of it. But
yeah.
it's nice that we're calving at the beginning of March instead of the middle of January.
Yeah.
So
And we've got fall calves that will happen. We've
yeah,
actually got 2 bulls on the herd still right now, and those need to come off sooner than later because we're going to be end up having calves in December for fall if we're not careful. But
those are pretty nice bolts. Like, I mean, like gentle wise, they are
well, yeah, they're
very.
handled every day. We've never had a bull that isn't that way if it's been handled a lot. So
Well, they're not
we
ours,
just
so
need
they
to get him back up to the corral, put him on the trailer, and get him out of here because
go back home.
I don't want January calves.
Well, that's true.
So I'm sure that all of our fall cows are bred. It's the other cows that I'm more concerned about. So,
Yeah.
but
Silver Lining was wondering how they got to the mama so quickly the other night. Yeah. We've got to put that on our calendar so that we can jump on.
and I that's yeah we've I'm going to put a big post-it note right above the computer here because I'm always here of an evening
Thursday.
and doing paperwork and stuff like that, and I always forget about it until it's too late, and then it's like, okay,
Well,
next
I tried
next
at
week,
10:30.
next week.
Yeah.
So, but I had a whole list in my head of stuff that we could talk about, and I didn't write it down, so it's gone.
Good job.
What else you got?
No.
Oh,
Let's
speaking
see.
of which, we were moving, so we had been staying before we got this dried in, and for the right before the winter time, we've been staying in a camper for the last 2 years
Mhm.
outside this house that got moved up by one of the gardens. And my mother, when she came, she had another camper that she had put up here, and we were moving all those yesterday, moving those to a different spot out of the front yard, essentially next to the gardens. And so moving all those, but I had forgotten she had bought another hot water heater for that camper, and too young for that. Oh, forgetting things. Yes.
Oh.
Right. No, I'm not too young for that.
He just forgot what he was talking about.
No. I think it's a combination of too many things going in my head and which voice is talking at what point and who I'm paying attention to. And then yeah, but
What were you talking
camper
about?
may not remember the point, but I'll remember partially. Um, but I was going to tell you that she had bought a hot water heater
Yeah.
for that. It was an instant hot water heater that's been sitting underneath the front of the camper.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know it was an instant hot water heater that. Okay. Anyway, I might have to put that to use.
No, and he's
She's
in the camper.
Well, I don't know. We're selling the camper. That camper is going to get sold, so she's going to take the other camper. It sounds like that's the plan.
Yes, that's
Okay.
the plan.
So,
I mean, but there is a place for her to sleep in the house now.
well, yeah, if
With
she
the
wants
rest of
to, but
us,
she
yeah.
likes her space too. So.
She does like her space. Yes.
Yeah, remember I'm a slow typer. Hey, you may be just as fast as I am. These do not do a lot of typing, so she makes fun of me all the time.
It's okay. You don't type all day. It doesn't. It's totally different.
It's just like anything else. If you don't use it, you lose it. And I went. I used to program radios and was on the computer all the time, and I got fairly quick. I wasn't fast by any stretch, but I got fairly quick, and I haven't done that for years, so it's nothing else I do. So
There's some people that are just like, and I'm like,
I'm on my phone one thumb. Oh yes.
yes,
Okay.
that would, yeah, yep, that would do it.
Yeah.
You know,
I've got two, and I'm slow. So
I don't know. I figured out how to do like the swipe and text.
that makes no sense to me whatsoever. Confuses me, and I'm a technology. I like technology to an extent. I try to keep, but the swipe text thing is just confusing. I don't even understand how it works. I don't get it. Cul-de-sac says, I don't know how I've been missing this. I didn't get the notification, didn't even see it in my feed, then the little wasn't lit up. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. I hear that's a thing going around.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and it cul-de-sac, it may have been our fault. We didn't get the thing, the
The
notification, the
schedule.
schedule out very early. We didn't get it out till today, so that's
That
something
might
that
have been it.
I'm going to go ahead and when we get off the live tonight, that's another thing I'm going to schedule
That's not a bad idea.
for next week. So again, it's one of those things. It's getting on a schedule. It's getting all the stuff. We've only missed one live, and then, so we've done really good with that. But it's details, right? And it's just like anything else in life. Consistency is key. But once you get the consistency, it's working on the details and being consistent on the details to keep fine tuning stuff. So,
This is true.
but welding is a major one. If you don't lose it, you lose it. Yeah, absolutely. That's I can pick up a welder and wire weld a little bit. I used to be able to stick weld a little bit, but you could hand it to me now and be like, yeah, you don't want to trust me. I used to speak when I was doing the trees all the time. I couldn't remember common terms for trees. Everything was
Yeah.
Latin. We spoke Latin for everything. We dealt with the University of Missouri quite a bit. They knew everything by Latin, so everything was nobody was
Yeah.
confused if you spoke Latin for tree names and stuff like that because of all the crosses. So, but I can come up with Latin names here and there, but I don't remember half of them now. So it's definitely if you don't use it,
You
you
lose
lose
it.
it. So,
Yeah.
but anyways, what else you been up to? I'm trying to think of what else we've been doing this week. Been cutting wood tonight. I don't think we're gonna have much cold weather, but it's always good to have extra wood. So,
No, and it looked pretty dry too.
well, it should be. That was a dead tree that fell down, and it's been dead. And I salvaged that log. There's actually two more logs up there. That is that
That's
tree,
a
but
big. I mean, like that's ours.
that was a small. That was only a limb.
That was a limb.
That's a limb off that tree.
It's
The
like a
tree's
2 foot
gone, but
2 foot limb.
yeah, it's a. Well, it's no, it's almost 3 foot in diameter on that limb. I've got another oak tree log that's up close to where I picked that one up at, and our big skid loader won't even pick it up. Not even close.
Hmm.
So I tilt forward on it on the track. So I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna cut that one up. I'm gonna put a big bar on for that one. So and a big splitter because I'm not splitting that one by hand. Well, I will, but it's gonna dry out really good before I do that one by hand. So put David on it.
I'll try it.
Oh, he'll try it. I'll split it.
I'll split it.
So, well, what else you got? I'm trying to think of anything else.
It's just been, I this will be the second week of being full time on the farm, so I'm doing pretty good.
Oh yeah, I mean everything's staying fairly consistent. So working on details. Working on details.
You haven't killed anything yet.
That's right. So you got market next week, not this week. Your first market in Kansas City, which we'll be going to Kansas City, will be next Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah, Saturday after this Saturday.
Yeah. So
So
actually, there's a lot of prep work that needs to be done as far as that goes.
yeah, so we're gearing up for market season.
Yeah.
We'll have that. We'll have that one, and then we'll have a 3 week break after that, and it will be every week from there on out. So April 8th they start every week, so we will be
Yeah.
at market every Saturday down in Kansas City. Do we grow green beans? Yes, we grow green beans. Um, we don't sell many green beans because it's just not profitable for us at all. Um, for us to. So is next Sunday when you're bringing the turnips? I don't know that it will be worth that at that point. We will.
They'll be close.
They'll be close. We will let you know on Monday for sure whether they're going to be ready or not. They are growing like weeds now. The temperature actually is in there. So, Eagle Lover asked, "Do you use 10-10-10 when planting?" I'm assuming she's talking about green beans or 0-10-10. I would use a 0-10-10 on green beans. They are a legume, so they will nodulate and make their own nitrogen. They don't need much. If your soil is void of any nitrogen at all, then a 10 isn't going to hurt it. But if it's got any kind of, you use any kind of compost or anything, you don't need any nitrogen for green beans.
Oh, what are you going to do with the green beans? Because we have discovered there's two different types of green beans. Well, there's more than two, but you have your canning green beans, and then you have your fillet beans. And when we do grow them, we grow both of them. The fillet beans is like an every 48-hour pick. And the more that you pick and mess with them, the more they will continue to grow. So you can get like 5 pickings off of those suckers, if not more. It's more worth your time, if you eat them as you get them. Um, the reason that they don't recommend canning them is because they turn to mush. They just don't hold up. Now, I have not tried that, so I don't know, but
her dog is insulin dependent and eats them. She cans them. So, and cul-de-sac says we were going to meet up, and I was going to get turnips and chicken. Yes.
Yes.
Can I email you?
Yes.
Absolutely. And you can even give us on our website. You can give us a call. The phone numbers are on there, so no problem with that at all.
Yeah.
And we can definitely work out the details with it.
So I'm curious about the insulin thing. So green beans higher your insulin?
You're asking. You need to ask her.
I am asking.
I don't know. That's one of the classes that I was encouraging your daughter to take. Our daughter to take.
Nutrition?
Was food science, and I can't remember what the other part of it was, but it was all about food science and nutrition. But it essentially, yes, it's about the chemistry of food and the nutrition. So, in her ag science, one of her ag science classes. So, I said that would be a
Can I sit in on it?
I imagine it's gonna be very basic, but it may spark an interest in some of the things that she will do. Thank you. I didn't get my peas in yet. We haven't done peas yet either, and that reminds me that is probably a good idea to be looking at very quickly. So
we do not plant by the moon. We plant by time when we have time to do it.
I'm wondering if tomorrow is too late. As far as by the moon goes, I'd have to look that up. That is one of those things that detail that
there's a lot of people that do that.
Eventually, if given the time, and if I was going to do it for the week and stuff like that, those are the kinds of things I'm really interested in doing and incorporating. But no, as of right now, it is every week we plant every week, and it's just timing on whatever. So like peas, and I do have the space, as long as I have the space worked up, I will plant peas every week. And we'll just plant 100-foot row, 100-foot row, 100-foot row. And that way until they're just done, and if nothing else, I use it as a cover crop.
Yeah.
So I don't mind planting something like that and then just tilling it right back in or working it back in or whatever it may be. So
yeah.
But yeah. So he's restricted on low glycemic foods. That is one vegetable he can eat and love. Okay. We had dogs that we had green beans in here, that those dogs would go in there and just pick out 2 or 3 green beans, take them away and eat them. So dogs do like green beans.
Oh yeah. Raw. So, I mean, they were eating them raw.
Yeah, they were eating them raw.
Yeah.
Good to know that you don't plant by the moon because you guys are so successful. I don't know that I've known some people that they religiously plant by the moon, weed by the moon. I
Yeah.
mean, it was that, and they had an immaculate garden not in the vegetables, but flowers and just all around kept up their yard very nice. So
Mhm.
um, he likes broccoli. Now that I can see dogs really liking broccoli too.
Yeah,
So,
I could too.
but
Interesting.
yeah, we're and I'm laughing at cul-de-sacs. You guys are so successful. It's amazing on how many things we kill at the same time. it's you. I won't say we kill as much as we grow, but sometimes it feels like that. Sometimes it's like, yeah.
The
So
greenhouse.
I'm always willing to plant just a few more, so we have that
Oh
backup
my gosh.
um, in case something else goes wrong. So
That is true. I mean, like, it is better to have on as far as we go. Well, I mean, even homeowners that to have just a little bit buffer in case a crop didn't go the way that it should, then you can throw something else in.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd rather have the plants available to plant and not be able to plant them than be able to plant them and not have them. So,
Yes.
kind of my philosophy on stuff. So,
Yeah. And if it doesn't work out, you can always eat them out of the pot.
well, it depends.
At least you can on lettuce. I mean,
Oh yeah, you can cut lettuce right there in the thing. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Can't get them in. Let's cut them.
or eat you as I'm putting them in the ground.
Speaking of which, have you? Yeah, they were doing that the other night too. Oh, we broke that one off. I'll eat it. Oh, we broke that one off. We'll eat that one.
The roots weren't coming out of the tray. And so you were just pulling the plants up and well,
Ella and Lisa just. So.
they're good.
But did you feed out the peas for the chickens yet?
No, I have not.
Okay. So, well, that's another thing we can take a little bit of a video on because what we've been doing with the microgreen peas is I'm trying to think. It's actually taking them longer to regrow,
It has.
but again,
It
for
hasn't been very warm, like sunny
no,
though.
it hasn't been. But for the open space that we have,
Mm-hmm.
we've been just when we cut the pea microgreens, we've been taking them back, setting them, and just watering them, just like we do on everything else, and just letting them regrow because they'll regrow, and I mean they'll grow as big as you let them go.
Mm-hmm.
So we're actually feeding those back over to the chickens. So now we've been doing that quite a bit, and that's been successful. So they're
Yeah.
ready to go out. Some of them are ready to go out. So we're just going to continue doing that as of right now. So that's another thing with microgreens. If you can get two or three cuttings off of them if you want to, and you can eat them as long as you're doing clean cuts.
Mm-hmm.
But you can also feed them as essentially as a fodder too.
Yeah.
Cul-de-sac says, I guess if you plant on a massive scale, it's going to look impressive compared to my tiny little garden. And I agree. I planted about 8 times more kale today than I really needed, and 20 Swiss chards. Yeah,
You know what? You can always give them away. That was kind of our thing too. I mean, you can always give the plants away if you get your garden full and
yeah. We always people wanted to buy some here and there, and we've
yeah.
talked about doing a spring sale, and that's something I've wanted to do, but this year didn't get the greenhouse up. So next year, that's a very possible that we might be doing some certified naturally grown plants. We
Mm-hmm.
can actually put on that and do a plant sale. But so no, we need to get. We've got a ton of kale to get out, and that's something that she's going to work on. Kale's going out tomorrow.
Yeah, the
Um,
bed that it was supposed to go into has been
wet.
really wet.
So we've been holding off, holding off, holding off, and we're not supposed to get rain till tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening.
So I should be able to
So
get
she's going to
them in the
fertilize
ground.
that bed again,
Mhm.
and I'll work that ground, and we'll get it all in the ground tomorrow. So Swiss chard we got in to the tunnel, the first batch that didn't germinate very well. We just took whatever we had, and put it in one of the tunnels, and we will get.
I've
We've
got
got
two
another
more.
batch
Yeah, I've got another batch that
that'll go
here in a
outside.
couple weeks will be
Yeah.
ready.
So Eagle Lover had reseed bell peppers this week in 21 days and only 20% germination. Yeah, that is.
Our bells are the same.
Are they? This year? No, some of them are.
Well, I'm just how long it has taken them to come up, even though
Yeah, but
I'm sure that was probably
21
my
days
planting
is
issue. Most
21 days
probably.
is that's I'd be calling quits on that one too. So, and I think we kind of talked about that last time. So,
Yeah.
um, Eagle Lover says I sowed mine I guess 14 days ago because we were on live, and I have spindly little jalapeno that popped up yesterday out of almost 100.
Mm.
Yeah, it.
That's awesome.
I'll tell you, and I don't know how you guys are where you guys have them or anything like that. Those peppers, tomatoes aren't quite as finicky, but peppers, they want a warm soil. I mean, 80-degree soil is where they like it.
Yeah.
Um, they and they that's the big thing. And we've had we've had two, three, we've had peppers that were in the greenhouse, warm
Yeah.
greenhouse, and popped up a month later.
Yes.
So, but again, it's one of those things. Germination on the seed could be bad. Is it old seed? Is it new seed? But the hotter you can get that soil, even 80,
They like it 80.
85 is probably getting anything above that probably too much. But 80 degrees and they're going to thrive in that.
Mhm.
Absolutely thrive in that. So if you can get it up warmer, it may be one of the, maybe help too. So what do you use for seed mix at tabletop? I'm not impressed with the soil I'm using this year. I'm thinking that is the issue. My peppers are in super warm bedroom inside a Clear River made tote. So that should help. Right now, what we use is from Morgan Compost. It's called Dairy Dew. And we've been growing off this for about, this will be our second year. I like the consistency of it. I really like it in the plants, the garden plants. It is a compost, manure compost base, is what it is. Um, but it's organic, it's safe. I mean, you can, again, you're not going to get salmonella or anything like that off of it. Um, so that's what we've been using. Now, we had been using previous to this was
Promix.
ProMix, and that is an organic ProMix. I think the was the tag
M.
M. It
It's an
has an
M.
M on it. You can find that at larger suppliers, greenhouse suppliers. But that's what we had been using. I would call that more inconsistent, is what I would call it, than what we've got now. You can order what we get. You can order it by the bag. There's some shipping, but I'd be willing as we get into it, if it's something that people are wanting, especially that are around us, we can do some more stuff like that and get it down here and do some bulk buying because that's how we buy a lot of our stuff. So,
Mhm.
um, but if we meet up, hit us an email and we can um, give you some of that soil and you can try that in some of your seeds and see if that's something you do like. So, if we're going to be meeting up anyways, cul-de-sac.
Good soil is really hard to find. I I don't know about down south there, but up here we really don't have a lot of choices.
No, and I mean that's again, I think we've gone over that story before, but we were forced essentially to go out looking because ProMix, what had been buying with the organic ProMix, was out of stock here where we buy it just up the road, and we could have ordered it in. Um, but again, I was kind of unimpressed with the inconsistency of what we were getting with it. It's not bad, um, but I just thought there could be better. So we started looking. Purple Cow makes
Mhm.
a soil. It's an organic soil, but they're based out of Michigan. Uh, Morgan Compost is out of Michigan or Wisconsin. Um, and then there was one out of Virginia.
Yeah.
I believe it's North Carolina, Virginia area. It's called, I believe it's Dirtworks. Is that one? I have not tried that one. We have tried some of the Purple Cow stuff a little bit here and there, um, but not enough to really say good, bad, or anything about them. So it really came down to price and availability and things like that. And it the The Morgan compost is a little bit more expensive, but
Yeah.
it was worth it for us to go ahead and get what we did off of it. It was out of all the other choices, I think it was either comparable or a little less with the shipping and everything.
Yeah.
So, and I've been I've been really happy with it. I mean, especially with our tomatoes and vegetables, it holds the vegetables a lot healthier, a lot longer in the pots.
Yeah.
That is for sure. So, but that's currently that's what we use, and I don't know that um, we may make it through with what we have this year. May
We might.
at the rate we're going, we may not, and we'll be either we'll probably be putting another order in. Is probably what be my guess. So if it's something you're interested in down the road, or anybody else that's close, Kansas, things like that, so we can always do some meetups. I don't know if they have a distributorship or not, but I could even become a distributor. I'm not opposed to things like that. So if we're getting that stuff already, then be more than happy to help anybody else out. But but yeah, that's what I would. So that's it's either going to be seed cul-de-sac or soil. If it's if temperatures are good, um, that's what I would be trying. So.
Okay.
She says yes. Used Jolly Gardener the last 2 years, and it was excellent, but very expensive. So I chose Horticulture Solutions Plant Right Potting Mix. Has bark, sticks, clumps, and peat in it. Yeah, and that's one thing that we are a stickler for. The beets, and we did last year more than just beets, but the beets this year in what the paper pot system that we have, and you can't have. It's got to be a fine,
It's got to
good.
be a seedling start
It's got to be a
mix.
seedling start mix.
Yeah.
And then again with microgreens, we want something that's nice, fine,
Mhm.
and stuff for that. So bark sticks, which the Pro Mix has some of that stuff here and there in it, um, and that's another mark that I put against something that we just if I have to sift
It's
it,
got to be.
it's
Yeah. It's
not
got to
my
be.
time is worth more than that. So, but
Yeah.
and I've never heard of the horticulture solutions. So I just made some mix. Hippocrates says I just made some mix from what I had on the hand the other day: peat, sand, perlite, shredded cardboard, and hydrated with worm castings, compost tea. We'll see what happens. Yeah, and
That sounds good.
you can make your own potty mix and make it a lot better than everybody else. That's for sure. So
Yeah, it would be a good
yeah,
video.
it very much would be a good video. So it'd be interesting. How did you shred your cardboard? Um, that'd be kind of an interesting. We've used brown paper, craft paper.
Mhm.
We've done some of that stuff on garden, and that would be something I kind of put in worm bins and stuff like that. So
All
made
right.
it.
Good
If you
deal.
got it posted, then I'm gonna go find it, see how you
Me
did
too.
it. So, but yeah, if you have the resources and a little bit of playtime, making your own potty soil is very doable.
Oh yeah.
Very doable. It's
Yeah.
just I'm not making a ton of it right now. So, but yeah, very interesting. Well, you have anything to add for the rest of the evening?
I don't know that I do.
Okay. I don't know that I do at this point either.
Okay.
I'm sure we could get on a lot of topics, but I'd have to start thinking about them. And my mind's just kind of in la la land, I think, right now.
Yeah.
But so I guess we will sign off of here. And again, I'll just remind you, freesteading. I think everybody here for the most knows that. But for those viewers that may see this later, if you're not on freesteading, we highly encourage you to head over to freesteading and find some people that are near you. There's always going to be some interest in freesteading. I don't care who you are, you'll find interest within that in that platform.
Yeah, they have so many different groups and categories over there. Any interests, all interests are in there, and then also the different states, so that you can find people near you. You know, you can reach out to people that are in your area and your state. So,
Yep. Gypsy says yoke up.
hmm
Absolutely. It was
yep,
great visiting again, Eagle Lover. We will see you guys on Thursday on the Zoom Live. Again, you can find the Zoom Live on Freesteading
in the activity feed.
in the activity feed.
Yep.
He posts, Hippocrates posts that there. He hosts that for us. So I'm going to make a
Put that
valiant
on my
effort. Going to have a
calendar.
nice post-it note there. Um, and then Tag and B are on Friday. Grumpy is on Tuesday. Grumpy Acres. Am I forgetting somebody? I know.
Yes,
What's that?
I think. Um, oh my goodness. Porterhouse and Teal, did they
I don't know.
start
I don't know if they're
doing?
starting to do a live not, but they did it on Monday.
Yeah, they had
So
one
we'll have
at
to go
8
see.
o'clock. Yeah, we'll have to go see if they're over there.
I don't
I'm
know if
not
they're.
sure.
I haven't looked at that one. So tonight.
Your state isn't represented.
Arkansas is not on there. Interesting.
Surely.
I'll have to go look at that.
No kidding.
So
All right.
pinball. Yes, pinball's on.
Mhm.
I think he's on Wednesday. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I think he does a Wednesday and he does a Saturday, I believe. So
All right. I'm
Danny
putting.
and Wanda definitely, and they're again. I know they're on a Saturday, but I don't remember what night during the week. I think they're a Wednesday as well. Um, so, and if you have a YouTube channel, by all means, State of Confusion. That's his State of Confusion. Right. Thank you, Hippocrates. We're slow. We're slow.
Hey, but
But
I did just add it to the calendar.
so we have it on our calendar, which means we have a higher than 50% probability of being there. But Hippocrates, if you uh, get the chance to put up your YouTube, I don't know how many people have your YouTube information. You're putting videos out. If anybody else does YouTube, um, by all means, let us know in the chat. Put it up there because I want to support as many of you as I can as well. So Silver Lining says uh, Arkansas is not there or is there. There's not much activity. Hard to build community with no participation. That you're exactly right.
Yeah.
Silver Lining, what part of Arkansas are you in? I'd be interested. I don't know that I've reached out and figured that one out before. So uh, Tuesdays for pinball. Deep South is Saturday. Okay.
Okay.
So I knew Deep South Saturday, but I thought maybe they did one during the week. So, but Tuesdays for pinball. So thank you, ACM, for that correction. I I very much appreciate it. Central
Sure.
Arkansas. Okay. I have a sister down in Arkansas, so she's in the, I'd call it more the northwest Arkansas area. So, but that's why I was kind of curious. So, yeah, it is very hard to build community without participation. And so I try to reach out. I try to do more on videos and comment on or recommend freesteading because I'm sure that there's lots more
Oh yeah.
people out there that watches from here, there, and everywhere. Um, so I'm trying to do my little part on spreading the word and maybe get some more
Per,
precipitation, participation.
participate.
I don't think you guys need any more precipitation down there for a little while, maybe.
Precipitation.
But I don't know that my sister is on there, but her husband would be very probably interested here and there in freestyle. That's something that we need
Yeah.
to make sure that they're on there. So,
Yeah.
but all right, well, I can babble and ramble and do all that good stuff, but I think we'll sign off of here for tonight. And we thank you for all of you guys coming and spending time with us and making it a great time. So until next time,
Pull up a chair.
and welcome to Tabletop Farms.
Have a good night, guys.